Hello darlings, welcome back to another video on my channel. I figured as I play Genshin Impact and a previous quiz showed that not many of you play that game, I decided I would just do a little teaser or trailer or whatever for the game, in a sense that could show you guys how many different ways you can play and why I would recommend you as an IDV player mainly, but of course if you don't play IDV and just want like thinking about playing Genshin, that's also maybe this video is also for you. So yeah, I just wanted to tell you guys a little about Genshin and why I really fell in love with that game when I first started playing. Felt a little more than a year ago, maybe two, I'm not really sure. But yeah, I did start Genshin after a lot of people on the server, a lot of my online friends just swore that it was such a good game and how amazing it was and such. So yeah, I downloaded the game. That game, if you didn't know, is available for free for PC and phone as well. So you can, if you don't have either devices or you just want to play a PC game, then that's completely. I would even say it's playing Genshin on PC is better than on the phone. But of course, if you only have the phone, then it's also a very nice game. It's a bit heavy game, so maybe if your phone is older or doesn't really have much storage, then it may have a little problem. But I think having Genshin is worth it. And if you're thinking about playing, like if you already know a few things about it and think about downloading it maybe for a while now, then I would recommend now is the time, because if you didn't know, Genshin does have a story going on, and I will talk about that also in a few seconds. But basically, as we go on, as like the months span and years span, we get more and more of the story. And you, as a new player, would have to go through all the story, like the whole story, in order to get like unlock a nation. And if you didn't know, there are characters. I will just try to show you guys everything. I will record on my laptop later, so you guys can see actually here somewhere what I'm talking about. But basically, there are a lot of characters. There are 4 and 5 star characters. 4 stars are, in a sense, easier to get, or like you get one 4 star item every 10 pull, because Genshin also has like this gacha aspect, meaning you can pull just like in IDV, you pull the essences, but in Genshin, instead of getting skins, you actually get characters who you can use and play as in your team. So what I was saying, why you should download it now if you're thinking about it, because if you get a character, for example, from the third unlocked nation, and you like maybe fell in love with the character for the first sight, and like you just want to have them and use them, then it will be much harder for you if you start later on, because you have to actually get to that point of the story where you unlock that nation, because for to level up these characters you need certain materials, and these materials will be only be farmable in that certain region most of the time. So like maybe you need a boss drop from an enemy, or like a flower, or any regional specialty as Genshin calls it. And maybe this flower, let's say the character needs a certain flower, this only grows on lands of, I don't know, let's say Inazuma. Then you have to like play through all the Archon quests if you begin the game now, until you get to Inazuma for, let's say, if you want to level up Raiden Shogun or Ayaka, or characters who are from that area. There are a few exceptions in terms of these, but yeah, overall, I would say if you're thinking about starting Genshin, and maybe if you think about starting it because of a certain character, then I would say start as soon as you can, because the sooner you get caught up with the story, the easier it will be for you to level up the characters and actually use the characters you really want. What are you doing here? A second, guys, wait a little. Look at him. He's so sleepy. Are you sleepy, little boy? Okay, you can sleep here on my bed. Do you want to? Okay, sorry about that. So let's get back to Genshin. So basically, as I was saying, let's start from the beginning, the very beginning when you join the game. So this is basically more of like an open world adventure game, but it has so many ways you can play it. Any game type you like, you will find it in Genshin for sure. So basically, when you start the game, it begins with you having to choose between a female and a male characters. They are like twins, so they don't look very, they look very similar. So it's not really much of who will you choose. Just a little advice for the ones who maybe didn't start yet. The male character Ether will be mostly on promotional arts that MiHoYo or HoYoverse, the company who made the game, actually posts. So if it would bother you that maybe if you choose a girl character, and I mean, if it bothers you that your character won't be on promotional arts and promotional videos and most of like the story related videos, then I would recommend choosing Ether, because he's the one who you will see in most of these promotional videos and story videos what the company officially releases. Of course, it's basically the same gameplay, the only difference will be the pronouns, but sometimes they get it wrong, they get it mixed up, or like the voice actor says, let's say her, and the text says him, whatever your character choice is. So yeah, it's just a whole mess. So I would say it's not really that much of a gamble between who we really choose. So you have this character who everyone in the game will refer to as the Traveler, and you can name your own character. It's just your in-game name, so don't worry too much about it. You can change it anytime so far in a game. So you will have your account, you go on this little journey in a mystical world or a mythical world, which is kind of like, first when it starts out, it's like it looks like really like a medieval game, like you go into this castle, there is a dragon. It's very very fun, to be honest. And the whole thing has like this anime style. So if you do like anime or anime related games, then I would recommend checking it out. There are so many cool videos on the lore. They're coming up with an anime, I believe. So that's also super fun. I feel like the company really does put a lot of effort into the art style, the music, the background music. Like every little area has its own background music. Some even change based on like if it's morning or the night or whatever. So I feel like they put so much energy and effort into this, and it's a free game. So you would be able to play this game for completely free and still get like a couple of good characters. Of course, don't expect to get like all the characters, because there are really a few 5 stars. So like if you consider this, 5 stars are like S skins in IDV, but they're not that they don't come out that often as like S skins, let's say. There are significantly less, but like new characters come out always, so basically you have a lot to choose from. There are less male characters sadly than girls, but also maybe I wouldn't say sadly, because this way I'm able to get most of them. I do have most of them, thankfully, uh, and I don't really have to spend on the game that much. I usually only spend this $5 little thing. It's basically a login bonus. So if every day you log in, you get 90 more Prima Gems, which is like inspirations in IDV. So this is basically the currency you can wish for characters with. So that's basically what you want to collect. Before you start the game, you choose which 5 stars you would be interested in getting, and start collecting. And don't pull, meaning don't wish or don't open the essences, if you understand. So don't wish on the banners. Banners are basically the essences. They change in like usually like around 20 days. Like one banner is up for 20 days. So in this game there are no very limited characters. So there is nothing like the limited S skins. So you won't be seeing a character and they say like, oh, this character will never return and this is your only chance of getting them, because here every character comes back. Maybe you will have to wait for like 6 months or a year even, but every character does come back, so you will have a chance to get them later. This is also, I feel like, such a good thing, because even if you couldn't get that desired character at that time period, you don't have to like spend a lot of money to make sure you get it. You can just wait. If you're able to wait, then you can just wait until the next banner of theirs and get them there. So this is what I feel like a lot of people struggle with, because at the beginning they don't really know how serious this pulling thing is. I feel like the update pacing is very nice. There are always so many events that you can try, and especially for a starter, I feel like you can like get enough primers for like 6 5 stars at least. So I feel like it's such a good time to start right now. So what I wanted to say, let's list what game modes you can play. So basically in Genshin, you can have 4 characters. In this game, you can make multiple teams, but like the team you will be using, it's an open world game, as you can see the footage in the background hopefully, and you can have a team of 4 characters. Now there is no limit of like they can be all 5 stars, they can be all 4 stars, they can be a mix of each. So I'm not trying to tell you how to build your teams and what matters the most, but if you guys would like some kind of like tutorial
What do you
thing
want
on
from me?
Genshin, I would be more than glad to make it for you guys because I understand most of Genshin already. And I remember when I started out, I did have to check like multiple
Yes.
channels, multiple videos from different sources. And if you guys are
A
interested,
walk would be
please
nice.
do drop a comment because I won't know otherwise. And I can like create a Genshin tutorial, like beginner friendly tutorial series covering everything. I would, tell myself when I started out, just like the JoJo Academy one. So if that's something you're interested in, a Genshin tutorial from me, please drop a comment. Okay, let's list what you can do. So you have this 4 member team. There are reactions you can focus your team on, but that will be a theme for like the tutorial if you guys want to have that. So you have this 4 man team. Basically, you have this open world, and you
You
can
think
just
I've got a sharp
literally you can just walk around and like I don't know, collect items like flowers, fruits, woods, anything. You can just collect stuff if that's something you prefer in a game. Like it's a beautiful scenery, like really the music is super good. So even if you just want to walk around with like a
Follow
pretty
me.
anime character in a pretty fantasy world, then it's such a wonderful way to like chill out, just walk around. I don't know, take like there is an in-game camera so you can take beautiful wallpapers, beautiful pictures, with or without the character of your choice. So even for that, that's a very good thing. Second is, of course, there is the main story, which revolves around 7 archons, which is 7 gods. In this universe, there are 7 gods. Each element has a god. So Anemo is the wind, basically, or the air. Then Geo, the second one, is earth or like rocks. Then the third one is electricity, basically, which is electro, obviously. Fourth one is Dendro, which was not announced, but it's finally out. Like Dendro was not available as a playable element till like a month ago, I believe, or maybe 2. Sorry, I just don't even remember anymore. But yeah, it came out pretty recently. People are still trying to find out the reactions and stuff. So that's the third one. Dendro is basically like a plant or forests or like this nature kind of thing. Then we have Hydro, which is water, obviously. Then we have Pyro, which is fire, and Cryo for ice. I hope I did list everything. Okay, so these are the elements, and basically these will be the elements of your characters as well. So if you get a character, they will be either their powers will revolve around this element, one of them. And of course, there are fun reactions you can do. For example, there is a Hydro character, and if you put Hydro on an enemy and then use Cryo on an enemy, they will get actually frozen in the game. So it does have pretty many these fun reactions and fun things to do. So basically, this is the story. Your character, the main character, is traveling to find their lost sister or brother if you choose the girl. Like, it depends on who you choose, but that's the only thing. I won't spoil anything from the story because I feel like there are some parts of the story which is very, very exciting. So if you're into like this story kind of anime thing where you can actually play, like it's almost like an anime, but you can be a part of it and actually play as the main character. So if that's something that you like, that I feel like that's also such a good, beautiful, brilliant game for you to try. So you can just, go on and play the story quest, or you can explore the world, or there is like a very, well, it can be a bit difficult at the beginning if you don't really have characters and you really have maxed out characters, but there is a thing called Abyss. Yes, I know, IDV has called the Abyss, but it's not the same thing, obviously. So Abyss is basically a place where you can eat food to heal yourself, because in a lot of games, in this game too, you can eat food that you have to make, which making food is kind of like decoding in IDV. So yeah, you're making food, you can give that to your characters and they will get health points back in any like event. Basically most of the events and fights and everything, you can just eat food and make your characters full health again. However, in the Abyss, you're not allowed to do that. So Abyss, you can get Primogems, so the currency you can pull it, um, for completing these fights, and these are like hard boss fights, and a lot of people play Genshin for this aspect, and they like to max out their characters, meaning like they put them on level 90, which does take a while, and they put all their talents to level 10, give them crowns and stuff, and find out which reactions deal the most damage. What I just mentioned before, like the hydro and the cryo making frozen reactions, they have a lot of other reactions with all the elements. So basically, Spiral Abyss is a place where you can test how strong your characters are. So if you're into like a fighting game where you actually have to build your characters and get their skills and attack to a certain level and try to make them better and better, then there's also the Abyss for you, and you can try yourself out. So that's also something that you can do in Genshin. Now let's get to the other game mode, which was just added recently, and is basically a card game, a tactical card game. Its name is Genius Invocation TCG, I believe. So yeah, it's basically the same character cards. You will get character cards as the existing characters in the game. So for example, you have a card of Amber. This is the first character you will get as you join the game. Basically, you will after the Traveler. So you can get this card. It's basically just a tactical card game. There are also reactions, what I mentioned before, so like the Pyro, Cryo, whatever, combining reactions. And it's like basically you choose 3 characters to be your main card in your card deck, and you can play against other players, meaning like not just against NPCs and robots and AI, but you can actually play against your friends or just randomly matches up with you with someone, just like in IDV. So I think this is the last gameplay mode I will mention, but there are maybe more, I'm not sure. I just wanted to list the most important ones. So, in Genshin, you are able to also team up with your friends, just like in IDV Survivor mode. You can team up with like you and then 3 other people. So, as I mentioned in the beginning, there are 4 characters in one team in Genshin. So, that you guys can play as each of you can choose one character and either explore together, do domains together, or beat bosses together. So you can play together with 3 of your friends. There are a lot of events that get refreshed pretty often, and a lot of them are supporting this co-op mode, meaning friends mode, and there are achievements which give you primogems as rewards, meaning like the currency you can pull characters with, and that's also like for a lot of stuff that is related to co-op. There are like 3 whole achievement sets that will give you like, I don't know, maybe 100 primers each if you complete it. So I feel like this game is so inclusive for almost everyone. Like, of course, if you don't like this anime style, if you don't really like this open world style game or story mode, if you don't like really any aspect of the game, then I'm not saying you should try it, because then you probably won't like it. But if you like either of these aspects, I feel like it's not like, you don't have to say like, oh, everyone plays it, it's so cringe. Like, it's not cringe, it's such a fun game. And if you think you would like, even if it's a character, that's how I started it. I just saw this character, but I don't really want to spoil. You kind of find out very soon. But basically, my favorite character is Venti. Um, well, he has an animal vision. I won't say any more about him, but he's such a cool character. Like, the first scene you will see is, I think, with Venti. And he's such a cute character. I really love him. He's not really the one who's on, like, that's what I so love about Genshin, that the characters have personalities, like they're in-depth personalities, not just like, a surface something like, oh, this is a kind character, this is a mean character. No, they have like layers, and there's so much lore to even like take 2 characters from the First Nation, and there is so much lore behind that. So yeah, I feel like I just wanted to do this video because maybe I can show you guys that playing Genshin can be super super fun, and that actually, if you have like, if you any of these game modes I listed would be fun for you to try, then I would say give it a try. If you have a PC that you can use, or a phone that has enough storage, I would say just try it. Of course, if you ask me, I would recommend you to download it on PC. Laptop is fine. Like, I have a roughly 10-year-old laptop, as I said, that's why I can't really stream through it. Like, it crashes basically instantly, but it can still take Genshin for some reason. It's a little choppy sometimes, it's a little laggy sometimes, but yeah, I can't play Genshin on it, and basically that's one of the only reasons I still use it. Like I make my thumbnails on it, edit my videos, descriptions, because I edit my videos on my phone. But yeah, I still can use my laptop, which is pretty old, to play Genshin on. So I feel like if there's nothing stopping you, then I feel like you really should give it a try because it's such a fun game. And after IDV getting too competitive and too like heavy and stressful for me to play, I wasn't really into any other games at the time. Maybe like another a few like Sims, but it's not really the same feel, you know, like it's more of like your own little game, you can chill with it, whatever. And Genshin was the one that like really opened my eyes, like how fun and refreshing a game can be, especially in the beginning when you can like actually pay attention to the lore. You can actually pay attention to the story, how it's progressing, like who is doing what, and you actually get immersed in this beautiful fantasy world. And if you're like me and you really like to get lost in your fantasy, or like to read fantasy books and such, then I feel like this is such a great game for you because you're not forced to fight. So one last thing I wanted to point out before this ends. I know it's like right now the recording it says 30 minutes. I really do hope I can make it a little shorter while editing. So the very important thing, at the beginning of the game when you like make your account, you have to choose a game server. And right now currently I think there are 4 servers. I think it's like Asia, America, and Europe, and then there is like a fourth option. I'm not really sure what that is, but there are 4 options. And I wanted to say, even if you're from Europe, maybe it would be worth for you to click on the US server, meaning choosing the American server. First of all, is because most of the people, if you have maybe like a lot of online friends, most of the people do play on the American server. Ask your friends if you would like to download this game to play with one of your friends or multiple of your friends on which server they are. You can play with a player who is on the Europe server if you're on the American server. So that's why I would recommend either asking your friends who you want to play with, which server they are on, so you can create your account on that server. Or if you are not really sure, you don't really have, I don't know, IRL people you would like to play with, then I would say go with the American server. So just a heads up to check in with your friends and maybe like people you would like to play with before creating your account. Once again, I'm on the American server, and I feel like most of my friends are also. Some people lead accounts on like both Europe and American server. It's possible to do both, but I would say you will only focus on one most likely. Okay, so I think I mentioned everything I wanted to. I do hope at least some of you will like at least give a check out to this game. It does have a pretty big file size when downloading. It does take a little while. So like I would recommend starting to download it when you don't have anything to do with your laptop or phone. So I just really hope that you guys, some of you at least, can find this game and start playing, because like believe me, every person that told me that they started Genshin after IDV, they just told me it's such a refreshing experience to finally have a game that's like calm with beautiful characters and beautiful scenery and music and everything, and it's just such a nice change, you know. So yeah, I just really hope that maybe a few of you at least will give this game a try. You guys can add me as friend. You can find my little friend tag. It's like basically a number UID. It's like here in the game, like not in my little screen, but like under there. I don't know where I would put this little video, so I just like, you know, at the lower corner of the game. Basically, it's always there. That's my UID, but don't forget it's on the American server, and there is a friend limit. I believe it's like 50 people. So I will try to add the first, I don't know, 50 of you. I already have like around 10 or 20, so maybe I will only be able to accept 30 of you. But yeah, feel free to add me. I will be glad to help if you write me and like you need some help with bosses and something. I will be more than glad to help you guys. So if I can actually add Genshin videos between IDV, then maybe we can do like some fun stuff together there. So maybe like we can, I don't know, me playing against you guys, me playing against viewers in like the card game, or we just explore stuff together. That would be super fun. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and maybe you could start thinking about downloading Genshin. If not for me, for the hot characters, for the gameplay. Yeah. Alright, hope you enjoyed. Goodbye, I will be back with the regular videos soon.